Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I'll also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for access support. And later, I will start doing the publishing of the VODs of the streams that I've been doing from Death Stranding 2. I managed to do, I don't know, 14 live streams, give or take, if not mistaken. And I cannot commit to a proper schedule on the VODs and also live streams. So when I can, I will jump in to the live stream. And then again, when the VODs catch up, they will catch up. I don't have any scheduling that regarding that situation. Eventually, I will put Death Stranding, the first game, the series that I made. I will put it on the completed gameplay series here in 4K. And yeah, other than that, that's the plans for now. And as usual, weekdays I will try to do gaming news programs. So let's jump into it. We've got interesting things coming from NVidia. They supposedly, again, for some time now, of course, they are using large language multi-models, whatever it's called, the LLMs, to train from decades of GPU design data. So they are now using that to the new GPUs that I don't know, will upcoming there. At the moment, it seems to have a very specific application. This machine learning, basically, it's what it is. Models, they are basically applying AI to design exploration, standard cell library work, bug handling, and verification. Because again, the full end-to-end automated chip design, so basically from designing from scratch until the final design is produced, is still far off. So I will assume, I don't know, 5 years from now, maybe we'll start seeing a couple of experiments on that side. But yeah, I think they are mainly using this for huge data and library work transfers. Every time they going about and there is a new process node that can be achieved in manufacturing, that they basically are using this to transfer everything because it saves a lot of time. This guy, chief scientist Bill Daly, he said every time they have a new semiconductor process, so like a new node process that is can have like a new manufacturing process, basically, they have to port the standard cell library to it. Suppose it's around about between 2,500 to 3,000 cells, and that usually it take a team of 8 people for around 10 months to do so, or 80% in 1 month. At least that's the indication that he gave here. And basically he continued, then we develop a program based on reinforcement learning called the NB-cell. And he said, I think we are up to NB-cell 2 or 3 now, and it's overnight on one GPU. The results are actually better than human designs in measures much as cell size, power dissipation, and delay. It matches or exceeds the human designs. It's a huge productivity gain and eliminates an obstacle to moving to new processes. Because now we can move cell libraries over very quickly. Basically, I think at this moment they are using this because it's way quicker. Again, if you can do it, a workload process that takes months to basically from one day to another, specifically when there is this, what he calls semiconductor processes. Again, it makes sense business-wise. And I think this is kind of one of the applications of this, because again, I suppose that the 8 people for about 10 months, they have to transfer all these libraries, cell work, or whatever they are calling there. Again, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about here. But again, it's the workload, this monotonous workload that sometimes when you do it manually, can infer in some errors or something like that. And then there is to be some extra verification, while if you do it from overnight, the transfer as it is, and then there is that process of verification. I'm assuming that takes less time to do so, even with the human element. I think that is mainly the focus at this moment, for them to try fine tune these processes, and then eventually they will integrate more on the workflow of the chip design, I assume. Any continue also, they have another internal tool called prefix RL, again, which started the long-studied problem of placing look-ahead the stages in a carry look-ahead chain. He said that the system was producing layout that no human would ever come up with, while improving key metrics roughly 20 to 30% compared to human designs. And as a final note, he said that is useful detail because it shows NVIDIA is not only using AI to save engineering time, but also to search for designs outside normal human intuition. Again, that's one of the limitations of the humans is, again, and the fact that you have know-how from a person doesn't mean that the person has the know-how of everybody else's. And this machine learning, you can set, I assume, the parameters to try and think a little bit outside of the box in a more quicker way and eliminate something that it's not useful for that. While if a human being does that, it will take way longer than these LLMs do. Again, this is not AI. This is basically machine learning. Because again, AI, it's what people are calling AI. It's not AI. It's machine learning. Because generative AI, I assume it still doesn't exist unless there is in the deep bunker somebody managed to basically on the brink of doing that. But again, this is more complex at this moment. It seems more complex machine learning systems that can be integrated between each other to achieve a result, basically. At this moment, the models are being fine-tuned on proprietary NVIDIA material. And again, I assuming also that AMD is doing the same thing to a certain extent. Lisa Su already referenced that. I'm assuming she will maybe, or somebody on her team will start also coming with this kind of conversation because again, NVIDIA is already talking about this, so I will assume AMD will follow suit. So again, it's kind of a not merchandising, sorry. It's a way of selling their own things, which is again through the power, at least it's how they can sell. Through the power AI, we are going to do better and faster, and will take less time to do these chips. And to a certain degree, they can be a little bit cheaper, I assume, for the final consumer, or they can be so much expensive because they are so good. I think this is how the CEOs will interpret this instead of trying to make it a more reasonable price on the final product there. But yeah, we're seeing that they are coming out here more publicly because I think I covered a couple of times here and there of the applications that they are using from the manufacturing chips and using machine learning regarding the at least on the design phase and troubleshooting, which I think it can save a lot of time and work, specifically more on troubleshooting. See if the I don't know, the chips are properly validated and all that jazz, and probably try to autocorrect certain things or fine tuning. I assume it takes less time. But yeah, we have been seeing this from NVIDIA, and again, I will assume AMD will come with their own thing, with their own models and their own proprietary stuff there. Even though usually AMD tends, I don't know, they're a little bit more open source in certain things than NVIDIA. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the AMD reply will come out of this. Then we got, again, continue with the AI chip frenzy, AI bubble, let's say. I think it reached a stage that is going to pop up. I saw some articles. Again, I don't think it's not directly related, but there was some shenanigans, especially from OpenAI, regarding that they're trying to reserve the RAM manufacturing supply, basically, and it seems that they didn't. They only reserved by word of mouth, so there is no MOU or any kind of contract signed to guarantee that they will buy this upfront or something like that. I think it's like word of mouth. Just call somebody and said, okay, just reserve me 40% of the world's DRAM manufacturing, and we'll see when if you need it or not later on a later date. Again, supposedly OpenAI is still, from my understanding, a non-profit organization, which is very weird. And yeah, I think this will crumble eventually if it continues like this. But yeah, for sure, I will try to be here to see what happens with that, because again, it's a lot of this AI bubble revolves around like a closed ecosystem of just word of mouth saying, I'm going to buy you X amount of stuff. So the other company, okay, they say they're going to buy us X amount of chips. Now I want X amount of reservation of the fabs, and then the fabs just need to manufacture and reserve that for that company to have the chips. And again, it's a kind of circle jerk per se at this moment of just word of mouth and just speculation bubble saying, okay, because we got this reserved, we're going to make this amount of money, so you can evaluate us higher because we're going to sell this amount of stuff there. Again, a lot of stuff is happening in that side, but in the end, if you don't have the physical chips to sell, it's going to be a trouble. And one of the things in the chain of production of chips, you got again a very important component, which is what they call the oh my god, it's this ABF substrate, which is kind of a film that connects the PCB itself to the chip, or the because yeah, to the chip basically. Usually this is very generic. Basically, you got the PCB, the board, then you got this supposedly film that will connect the silicon interposer, and then the high-end chips itself, which in this case it's what TSM produces, and also TSMC, sorry, also does the work of integrating all of this thing in one final chip, let's say. And it seems that again, this seems to be on the industry one of the major limitations of producing chips. Um, and again, the element, it's the ABF substrate, as it shows here. Again, it's produced by an entity traditional for food seasoning. Again, the subtitle can be a little bit misleading to a certain degree, but I think it's part of the same company. That's why they say that the seasoning company basically has not a stranglehold, but it's all this industry is dependent on a food seasoning company. But ABF, or Ajinomoto build-up film, is a crucial part of advanced packaging because again, this is not the chip; it's part of the packaging of the chip itself. And basically, it acts as a bridge between silicon and the PCB. This film is important because it enables high-end chips to achieve high I/O, so interoperability. Sorry, I'm butchering the here. Density, signal integrity at multi-gigahertz frequencies, which is crucial for chips like NVIDIA Blackwell Rubin, so the AI accelerated chips, which operate under intensive environments. And basically, this supply chain, it's kind of complex, and it's basically dependent on just one company in terms of producing this film, basically. Yeah, because this company, the Ajinomoto Fine Techno, which is not the same thing as Ajinomoto build-up film, which is the product from this company. The techno part of this company for the film, along with this company EBDEN, sorry, which acts as a substrate manufacturer, and then you got Taiwan's Unicron and many other suppliers that are responsible for the final stages. So again, there is this company, Ajinomoto, basically it's solely handling, responsible to have a crucial part on this, basically, which is going to be the film that is going to be the substrate connector kind of a thing there. Again, the fact that one of the things that the fact that it is very constrained is the fact that these new chips are becoming bigger, and then this film, which is basically has a very limited capacity output, the demand is increasing. At least that's the prediction in the next couple of years, between 15 to 18 times in terms of the demand of this single company produced thing that it's very important, because it seems nobody else is producing this at least at this this level. Yeah, it might be a constraint. And one of the things that companies are trying to work around here to try to eliminate the supply of this film is trying to pay upfront for this film. So the company that produces this, the Afibo, oh my god, I completely Ajinomoto, can then start building up more or build up the manufacturing factories that need to come for this. Again, this is depending on just one Japanese company, which by itself, given how things are in terms of the world supply from gas, oil, and all that jazz, and raw materials to a certain extent, it's already being a little bit tough on Japan. We're seeing in some South Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries, there are some fuel caps that people can use, some restraints there, which it's not very good. Yeah, it doesn't look that this is going to, at least in the near future, is going to be that good in terms of the market and in terms of output. And to a certain degree, I think it will increase the prices of these chips, because again, there is this constraint on the chain where these things have specifically here on the packaging of the chips themselves. Again, I think this might be something to think about, given that I think in the short term, if it continues to have this, I don't know if it is a fabricated demand, but if there is this continuous demand of these chips for the AI servers, again, I think we continue to see the increase of prices, and then eventually that will reflect on the consumer products that we use, for sure, and the services that we use that are dependent on this server stuff there. At least in the short term, it seems that way. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this will reflect. Continuing with some hardware, given in this time on the consumer market. Again, I spoke, I think, last week, if not mistaken, regarding the 12-volt power pin or the 12-volt 16-pin power connector. That is a shit show in terms of design, and even on AMD, the 9070 XT, it seems, since this specific card, so the Sapphire NITRO Plus, so the RX 9070 XT that uses this pin. I'm not sure if all Nitro or of all Sapphire cards use this connector. But yeah, we've been seeing now, according to what we see on Reddit posts and all that jazz, it seems to be the 9th case which happens. And again, I'm not sure if this, how much this card consumes out of the top of my head, but it's one of the more powerful ones. Sapphire usually overclocks the cards to a higher degree than other competitors. But yeah, it kind of proves my point of, again, this is a flawed design. Some people try to excuse the fact that it's because of the adapter that comes with the adapter from the 3 8-pins or the 2 8-pin PCI Express to the 16-pin thing there, that it might be the case. Again, it's not, to a certain degree, because at the end, the choke point of the whole, at least the connection overall, is this the physical connector here. Because as I mentioned on the last time that I covered this, you got ASUS. I think it was ASUS that came up with a new PSU with a new solution. Again, you can put better cables, you can put whatever you want, but at the end, as long as this connection continues, even you can improve the connection in the sense that we have gold-plated stuff there. You can put different kinds of materials. Again, I think it comes about the way that this connection was designed. And one of the limitations is the physical size of this connector, because of the fact that there is less tolerance in certain aspects of the connection and the current that passes through it. It has less physical connection between pins and the connector, specifically on the GPU side, where we see the most, or we see the majority of the cases of this burning. And again, you have less contact surface. There is more resistance on the connection, even at lower demands of power. For example, the 9070 XT for sure is way less. I think it should be around 300 watts or so I think it's kind of the same in terms of the 7900 XTX. At least that's the sense that I got. And again, it's almost half of the power demands from 5090, let's say, which is basically tries to occupy all the power that this cable supposedly can handle, which is 600 watts. But usually it's not the 600, it's 600 watts itself. It's more about the amperage, so the strength of the current itself more than anything else. And the fact that when we see that these pins are not perfectly, 100% perfectly socketed and making contact between each other, it tends to create certain resistance on the connections, and then to try and compensate that automatically, given that the GPU needs that amount of power, it will try to collect that current from the other pins, and that will increase the amperage. And then again, the fact that the more current that you have, and you have some stranglehold there, the higher the temperatures become. And when you have higher temperatures, the more resistant the connection needs. So to get the same amount of current, you need to increase the power delivered there to try and get the same needs of from the GPU. And again, it comes like a circle that auto-propagates itself, and then finally you get the final result, which is usually a burn connector. Again, I think I continue my thing is I think the 8 power PCI pins has as they were designed, I think the physical and the tolerance that the system has in terms of power delivery are more than good. I think if they wanted to go something like that, I think the physical or the physical size of the connection of this 16 watt power, at least the pins itself, should be at least the same size of an 8 pin ones, because they are bigger in terms of the physical size of the contact itself. But yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I think this, as long as this not solved specifically from the consortium, or they scrap this design ultimately and come up with a new one. They can call it 18 pins, they can call it 14 pins, whatever they want to call it, until they come up with a new redesign, or they fix completely this one. They might call it 16 pin version 2.0 or something like that. We will continue to see this on the current gen GPUs and the upcoming GPUs that will come in the near future. I don't know. But yeah, we will continue to see this issue. Again, I don't think this can be blamed on user error, because again, if you have a design that induces this much user error, given if it is from the AMD GPUs or specifically on the 5090s, the 4090s, some 5080s, and even 4080s, and I think even some 5070 Ti's. I think a couple of these issues happen there on these GPUs. Again, when you have this spread amount of this problem so spread out throughout the industry, or in the GPUs, the products that you provide to the consumer. Again, if it's a matter of faulty design. I don't know what else to tell you, man, regarding this shit show of a connector there. But yeah. We will continue to see these cases coming up here and there. So I will keep following up and hammering the same thing over and over and over till somebody listens and somebody, I don't know, makes a decision of redesigning this shit from the ground up. Then you got Amazon with this Luna thing. Supposedly this was kind of an aggregator, like a function that GOG app ad, which is you can put all the libraries and put it together on GOG, and you can play games through that app because it syncs the libraries between the servers that you have. I think Amazon Luna was something similar. Again, I never tried this. I didn't follow too much on this. And it seemed they made a lot of changes. And it seems now they are trying to be basically Google Stadia, it seems, to a certain extent. At least that's the perception that I got. And now you are not going to be able to basically use the games that you acquire through the Luna app that you acquired in other stores. Let's say the GOG store. You bought a game through on GOG through the Luna app. You cannot access that more through the Luna. Because Luna, one of the things that catered to this was the fact that after you bought the game, you could stream that game to yourself, so you didn't need like a higher power PC to play games. And it seems now that is not part of it. So you have still access to the game if you on the storefront that you bought the game for, but you cannot access through Amazon Luna unless it was bought inside Amazon Luna library. I think that's the thing there. And again, you supposedly can use still Amazon Luna to stream the game for you to play, but again, if you had the games on other libraries that you were dependent on Luna to stream the game for you to play, again, this is not more possible if the game was bought on third-party stores, basically. Again, not good. I think they are giving it Google Stadia another go, let's say, but again, through Amazon. Again, in certain games, I think it can be a good service, but again, the fact that you have the overhead of the server's maintenance and the fact you have to stream, or if you're promising to stream 4K 60, again, the fact that you already is already having a problem for people when you want to stream like gameplay to YouTube, just dealing with the video signal of that. Streaming 4K to YouTube server, and it's already tricky. And now imagine for them to deal with the processing of the game itself, the game engine, plus delivering low latency video signal for you, and have the also dealing with the latency of the command inputs, and then have that reflected on the game itself. Especially if you the longer the not longer the more the server is out of the access, or the distance is bigger from the final user, again, you add more latency. Again, it's a huge encumbrance trying to provide this as a good service. Again, I can see in certain games you might have I don't know, you can provide a decent enough service for people to go for it. That's one of the reasons that Google said it failed, because they try to overpromise what they could deliver to a certain degree. And I don't think this will work very well ever. Even unless, I think, if everything was connected for fiber optics, but still you have to have like a huge network of servers that had the potential to run the game and then deliver the feed and take the inputs from the player. You have to have a huge network to have as closer as possible to the customer. But yeah, I think it's a huge feat. Again, I can understand if it is video, because you're just receiving a video feed with the audio. It's way easier. You don't have any inputs except for the play and pause button, and like a Netflix app. It's very easy or easier to do that. And taking into account that you have, for example, games that need low latency in terms of the input commands and what it can show afterwards on the final the feedback that the gamer gets from the video. Again, it's a huge undertaking, and I don't think this will ever be fully resolved to a certain extent. So yeah, I think Google Stadia 2.0 is here through Amazon, and they removed a lot of stuff that was one of the calling cards for people that have like decent enough PCs to play these games. Then we got supposedly new rumor coming out, specifically with State of Play event. Supposedly this is part of the rumor, which is we're going to get a new State of Play next week, I think, April 16 next week, which is this week, Wednesday or Thursday. And there is a lot of rumors given supposedly this State of Play, which is a PlayStation event. It's will be more focused on third-party games, and one of them seems to be the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. Again, Assassin's Creed Black Flag was one of the better games from Assassin's Creed. I think it was the last one that I played. I played Unity, I think. I'm not sure if it was after or before this game. I don't remember. But I remember playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I really did enjoy. It was a good experience, specifically regarding the pirate part of the game there. I don't know how well a remake could be done. But again, there is rumors that this is going to be presented here. And again, the fact we're talking about Ubisoft, I don't know, in terms of the quality of the game, if they're going to remake with some constraints, or if they're going to try and experiment more and screw the pooch, let's say. And there is another one which is probably a new rumor, probably a new Metro game. I remember playing at least the first one. I have the trilogy. I bought the trilogy, but I still didn't touch that. Um, I don't know. I got a lot of games on my library to go for, and having time to play all the games that I want, it's difficult to do so. But again, it seems that we might see this again. This is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, this fourth Metro game, it's kind of seems to take inspiration of the situation itself regarding the so-called invasion from Russia in Ukraine. Again, but it's more the fact of trying to reflect on certain themes. It seems regarding power and all that jazz and the horrors of tyranny, price of freedom. Again, I think the first one, and I think I saw some clips of the second one at the time. They seem to be tackling those themes well enough, given it is a first-person shooter game. But they and again they are based on the books themselves, and I think when they try to approach these kind of themes, and they say it's supposedly again this part of the rumor that it's going to be even darker than the trilogy itself. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see throughout this week if there is a state of play, and if there is a state of play, if they're going to announce any of these games. And then lastly, we got the releases here for this week. We got Pragmata, which is the one that I'm more curious about. We got here from Gematsu the list of, I think this covers worldwide also. Yeah, covers worldwide. Got physical and digital, then digital only. Again, a lot of games here. We got Pragmata here. There is another game that I saw in this list. We got Mouse PI for Hire, which is one of the games that is so black and white. We got a mouse detective kind of a thing, like Mickey Mouse wannabe, kind of dark noir detective game. We got another Kuflu game, Cosmic Abyss, and then I don't recognize a lot of the other ones. Yeah, and then got some demos for Atomic Heart, which were the ones that caught my attention here. Again, I'm not sure if this is the last downloadable content that they have. I think they had 4 planned for Atomic Heart. But yeah, we got all of this here if you're curious. Again, as usual, I'll leave the links on the description below. In terms of gaming deals, we still have some good stuff here. We got Cocoon, 50% off. We got Crypt Custodian. Again, seems a pretty good one. Very positive feedback since it launched, 40% off. We got Death's Gambit Afterlife, kind of Metroidvania kind of a game. Very positive, but recent 60%, so give it as it is. But again, it is a cheap game, and if you like Metroidvania, I think this might be a good option. We got Herdling, a more recent game from last year. Again, I covered this. I'm curious about this game. Seems an interesting one. You got a demo if you want to. I never played the demo, but again, it seems an interesting game. And it's 40% off. There it is. Got also Journey. Again, top recommendation for me. I played it on console a few years ago, and I did enjoy it very much. 75% off. We got Kunitsu Path of Godness. Again, 25% off. This one seems to be very good also. You have a demo here if you want to try it out and see for yourself. We got also Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, kind of puzzle game with some twisted things here. Again, very weird this game, but it seems to be a good one. Very positive feedback since it launched. And again, 50% off. We got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the remakes, but this one seems to be a good remake that they did here. I think it seems that they did a good job here. And again, 40% off. Yeah, it's this game I never played. The Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. I think it's the only game that I never played for Metal Gear Solid. But yeah, here it is. Maybe I will give it a go one of these days. We got also Mud Runner. If you like this kind of games, I think this one is a good one. Got 80% off on the base game, and then if you like, you can upgrade for other editions. Again, I think I kind of like this game. So it's not a racing game, so is kind of completing puzzles with trucks and all that jazz. Then we got also No Man's Sky again. What else to say here? They are adding I don't know, every couple of months or so, they seem to add another expansion for free. Again, the full package is 60% off discount at the moment. So again, it's one of those. This is what, to a certain degree, Starfield promised to be. Again, but there is no. I think there is here no story to follow up. Again, it's more kind of a Crimson. There's that kind of thing, but in a galactic level, it seems. But yeah, very positive feedback after the rough launch that they had. We got Sandland, Akira Toriyama based IP here. Again, 50% off. This one also seemed to be pretty good if you like this kind of games. Then you got also Stray. You play as a cat. There's nothing else to say, and it's 40% off. You got The Alters. Again, very positive feedback. I think they patched up mainly the main concerns that had on launch, and I also I think they had some issues with the AI assets when the game was launched. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they had there. But I think they patched everything up. Again, it's 35% off, and you can buy it as a bundle of Clair Obscure, 35% off, I think. And then lastly, we got Vampyr. Again, mostly positive, around 70-ish, 75-ish percent positive feedback. Again, as it is, it seems to be a pretty good game at this price point, given what it is, kind of a vampire RPG kind of a thing there. It seems pretty decent from the reviews that I saw at the time. And again, it's one of those games, if you want to try it out, you have it here for a discount. But yeah, basically that's it for today. I'm just going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual. Again, I don't do anything exclusive here. I just post everything here. Also, it's just a way of people having some opportunities to do some extra support if they would like to. But yeah, later on, I will publish the first episode of the VODs of Death Stranding 2. And yeah, until then, I will see you in the next one. And yeah, Kunamy Master out.